I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tare, and today I want to share with you a really fast way to grow food. If you are in need to grow food quickly, we're going to have one really fast way, and we're going to go through some things that you can learn and you can start for yourselves to start learning how to grow food. This is something I think a lot of people are starting out with and are new to right now, and learning is the first step. So let me show you what I've been up to. This is something I did, and I'm like, you know what? I need to share this with people. You can grow sprouts from a simple place as your car. If you're living in a car, you can grow sprouts to eat. Alfalfa sprouts, mung bean sprouts, broccoli sprouts, whatever sprouts you want to grow, you can do in a space this big. Now I'm soaking these. There's about a teaspoon of seeds in here right now. You can buy sprouting seeds by bulk. This is big. This is 151 servings. Okay. You can buy them smaller, in smaller amounts. If you want to buy alfalfa seeds that they spread on the field, you can do that too. Just keep in mind those are not cleaned for human consumption. Something like the one I just pulled up is cleaned for human consumption, so you know you don't have any yuckies in there. Now, when you are making sprouts, I will put a full video right here which shows you how to get food in 4 days. 4 days is all it takes for alfalfa sprouts. So this is super easy. They're soaking right now. I'm going to be rinsing them over the next 4 days. And in 4 days, I'll have food, guys. Yeah. We take off this water. We put it through a sieve, dump the water, and rinse them out in the morning, rinse them in the evening, do that for 4 days, and you have food. But for now, they are going to soak overnight while I tell you some other things you can do. So now that you know you can grow food in 4 days, that's pretty amazing. You know, growing food in 4 days, and you're gonna have, from that amount, you're gonna have about that much sprouts. So don't go crazy on this. Don't do a whole lot of them. Do one of these every day if you're gonna have a lot of sprouts. Do one of them every other day if you're gonna have, you know, some sprouts each day. But you can do these. You can do microgreens. They're gonna be very similar. You just put it on a tray, or you can even put it into a little small thing of soil. But sprouts have the highest nutrition, one of the highest nutrition fruit or foods. One of the highest nutrition foods is sprouts, and that is because all the little nutrients from the seed get released into that sprout, and that sprout has to grow into this huge plant. So it has a lot of nutrition. So if you are eating canned food and only canned food and dry food and this and that and not getting much fresh, sprouts are going to be super helpful for you, and you can do it in 4 days. So watch that video I linked, and you'll have fun with that. Now, you've decided you want to grow food. Where do you start? Where do you start? Number one, I say start with sprouts. You can get sprouting seeds online. You can get it at some nurseries. You can get it at some different areas. I recommend looking online first and seeing where you can get it before you go and get it. But that, again, 4 days for food is super fast. And that's great. The second thing you can do is to buy something in the supermarket that has roots. If you have butter leaf lettuce, is the only one I know of. I thought there was one other lettuce that they sell this way, but I don't remember. It already has a root on it. All you need is a box of soil, a container of soil, a old cottage cheese container of soil. You can get the soil from, you know, outside. You don't need potting soil. It will do well with potting soil, do well with all these other soils, but if all you have access to is the dirt outside, you can make things grow in it. So start with that. Put some drain holes in there, put it on a plate. That's my recommendation, just so you don't flood it. And what you do for butter lettuce is you eat the outside parts of the lettuce, and then it'll grow from the inside out. So you're eating the older leaves, and it will grow for a very, very, very long time before it bolts. And bolting means that it will start growing up when it wants to flower. And at that point, it's at the end of its life. Now you can save those seeds and plant them again. Keep on going, keep on doing the system. But it will get bitter at that point. And so you can still eat it, but it will be bitter because the plant is trying to protect itself so it can seed. So that's another thing you can do. There's probably other things from the grocery store you can grow. Don't try and grow carrots from the grocery store. They will grow, they just won't grow another carrot. They will grow the tops, which are edible. The tops of the greens of carrots, the greens of radishes, those are edible. Broccoli leaves are edible as well. So don't just throw those away, cook them up and eat them, and they're good. So carrots, you might need a little butter with it, but it will grow. So if you get a carrot from the store and you try and grow the top, you won't get another big thick root. You will get greens that you can eat. They're not tastiest, but you can eat them. One of the fastest growing seeds that I know about is radish, and that is usually like 24 to 30 days. And 24 to 30 days is a long time if you are like just trying to survive, right? You're like, oh, if I plant this today, 24 to 30 days later, I will have food. Well, yeah, you will. Radishes, you can also do as a microgreen. You can also do as this method for a sprout. You can also do, just grow it and plant some every day or plant some every week because they'll be ripe at different times and ready for you to pull up. So that's a really fast one. Another fast one is loose leaf lettuce. So lettuce that does not make a head, it stays loose, and you can literally sprinkle those on some soil and those will grow, and you can cut, and it's called cut and come again. So you can cut them, we're that tall, cut them and eat them, and then when they grow to this tall again, you cut them again. And that is a really, really handy thing for something that you can have long term, but also kind of bridge that gap while you're getting some other things started. So something you need to know, so get those things started. Get those things started today, and you will do well. Other things you can sprout: lentils, mung beans, broccoli, kale, spinach. I don't know if I just said spinach. I don't know if that's true, but here, why not spinach? It's a leafy green. Yeah, all your leafy greens. Maybe not all your leafy greens, but I already said broccoli, lentils. You can do a lot of sprouting and get that good, strong nutrition that comes from sprouts. You can also do microgreens. So depending on your situation, depends on your situation. Now, if you are looking at, hey, I really want to do a garden this fall, you might be a little late. You might be a little late for a garden. You can grow stuff inside though. You can start stuff outside. It's going to depend on where you live. For example, right now where I live, the grass is just now growing. It's about that tall now. We do have some other stuff popping up, but it's still probably going to snow at some point this winter. So you don't want to plant tomatoes, you're going to want to know what things to plant in what season. Now, I am talking to people of the northern hemisphere, people of the southern hemisphere. It is summer right now. Go ahead and plant your tomatoes. For the northern hemisphere right now, we are approaching winter. So we're in fall and winter is on the horizon. So fall crops are things like kale, and you could do peas. I think we might be past that point. Chard, broccoli, cauliflower, your cruciferous vegetables, and things of that nature. So things of that realm, your leafy greens, all of that. So that is something that you're going to be planting now. When the information you need to know are what your first frost date is and what your last frost date is for the year. So look on the internet, type in your zip code and say zip code first frost date. Then you know that date. Then type in zip code, your zip code, last frost date. And then you have that date. So you have 2 dates and you know what they are. And now you count the days in between those dates, the summer days. And you can even say, hey, internet, how many days between this date and this date? And it will tell you. You don't even have to count. That number of days is what is known as your growing season. It's how many days you have in your growing season. So when you look at the summer, because you want to think ahead to summer, we want to plant the things now for fall. We want to grow the things inside that we can grow now, but we really want to look towards summer because we want you to be successful all year round. So when you're looking for seeds for the summer, you want to choose varieties which match your growing season. Now, if you live down in Florida, you're going to have a very long growing season, right? If you live up in Washington, your growing season is going to be very short. So pay attention to those dates and plan accordingly. Start looking on the back of seed packets, start looking at, stuff online. How long does it take to grow this? If you really want to grow watermelon, well, watermelons in the store are these giant things. Those watermelons require a whole lot more time to mature than the personal size ones. So if you are growing in northern latitudes, choose the smaller fruits and you will get a better product. You're gonna get fruit that actually matures. Same thing with, if you're doing, eggplant or tomatoes, it doesn't really matter. Squashes, different kinds of squashes will take different amounts of time. And pay attention and make sure you are taking into account the number of days you have. Now, that's summer. That's your tomatoes and peppers and zucchinis and eggplants and those kinds of things. Right now, see if you're still in the time period for carrots. See if you're still in the time period for bok choy. Those are 2 things that I didn't say yet. Radishes, you're good for that. Bok choy has a pretty fast grow time. And look at the backs of those seed packets and say, when is this going to happen? Now, on the seed packet, it will say something like plant in ground 4 weeks before last frost. Is it 4 weeks before your last frost? Who knows? Well, you just looked that up, so you know your first frost. If you're close to it or past it, understand your plants might grow slower, or they may not do well, or they may not come up until spring at that point. You do have volunteer plants that just don't sprout in the time that you want them to sprout. But look that up now so that you know what your first frost date is, and you also know what your last frost date is. Now, your last frost date, when you're getting ready for that winter to be over and going into your summer garden, that last frost date is really important. Things like tomatoes and peppers take forever to get started and should be planted about 8 weeks before your first frost date. So that could be in December for some people. We could be coming up on it for some people. For some people, it's going to be January or February. But you have to know what your last frost date is. And that's an expected date. It's a rounded date. It's, we don't know for sure that's going to be the actual date. But those are the planning dates. Dates to plan around for your garden. And you can count backwards and know that. So what I want you guys to do is to take this information, look, number one, get your hands on some sprouting seeds, whether they're alfalfa, broccoli, radish, lentils. Lentils you can get in a bag from the store very cheaply, just a bag of lentils, and you can sprout them the same way I'm doing this. And I put that video up earlier. Go ahead and watch it. I will put it on the end card as well, just to make sure that you have the very easy instructions. I do not remember how many days it takes for lentils, but it's the same process. It's just, it might be a different length of time. Mung beans is 3 or 4 days as well. Mung beans is like if you go to a Thai restaurant and they have those long beans on your dish. Those are mung beans. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So I encourage you to, number one, your homework, find something to sprout, obtain it, watch the video on sprouting, and start. Alfalfa sprouts is 4 days. 4 days. Number two, look up your first and last frost date and figure out what you're going to plant now. Okay? It's going to likely be lettuces, kale, bok choy, radishes, that kind of stuff. You might be a little late for broccoli, but try broccoli. Do these things. And figure out when you need to plant something for summer. Okay, those are your 3 homeworks for today. And I'm going to give you some bonus information right now to help you start thinking about your next step. Right now, the things that you are planting should not have any extra heat required. Okay? When you plant things for the summer, your peppers and your eggplants and your tomatoes do need extra heat if you are starting them inside ahead of time. If you're starting them in the ground, they're going to start later and you won't have as big a harvest, because it's going to take them longer to mature, and then you'll have a shorter fruiting period. So what does that mean? You need heat. It can be as simple as keeping your house at, your own temperature that you like, and that will be enough for something. They will do better with a heat mat underneath. They don't cost too much, but you may be on a budget, and that's fine. Do you need lights to start seeds? It depends what the seed is. And usually the answer is yes. It can be as simple as the light up there shining down on you. That is fine. You don't need special grow lights. You can use a shop light. You can use any sort of light. You can use a lamp. You can just have light on in the room for so many hours and not, you'll be fine. You don't have it on all the time, 24 hours, but you don't need a special setup. You just need the space to do that in. So that's food for thought for what's coming up. But remember those 3 things. I want you to find something to sprout, start sprouting, look up your first and last frost dates, and number 3, find out stuff that you can grow now and stuff you can grow and when you're going to grow it, start growing for the summer harvest, which could be as early as planting in December. So those are your homework. And if you have suggestions for people, helpful hints, tips and tricks, things that you can grow now that I did not mention, or you want to say, yes, I had super good success with this in this state or in this climate, go ahead and put those comments in the comment. I really, really want to encourage you, especially on this video, to put comments down, helpful tips and tricks, helpful things to help people, help new gardeners become successful. Here's another tip. If you're not successful the first time, it's okay. There will be other times, and sometimes certain things just don't want to grow. I had 2 years, I didn't get any tomatoes. They grew, and I got no tomatoes for 2 years. This is where we have our boom and our bust, our glut, where we do preservation, and our time when we don't have anything coming in, but we've preserved enough, hopefully, to take us through. And I did that with tomatoes almost all the way. So I guess my goal in this is, do not be discouraged if you fail at something. And the other part of that is, we are here for you to ask questions. We're here to help you. And by we, I mean me and our community here. Sow and Tare has a fantastic community. We grow a lot of food, a lot of quail people. So if you want eggs super fast, you can have eggs starting from, if you hatch them yourself, they only have to be 8 weeks old. Then not even that. Some of them start laying eggs at 6 weeks old. So from egg, you put them in the incubator and you hatch them. It's an 8 to 10 week process before you have eggs. You get a chicken, it's going to be many months. So think about that. Think about, if you get adult quail, the quail have a really, really high egg rate. Tip on that is you do need light on them in the winter for like 16 hours a day. So put a video explaining that right here. And yeah, let me know how it goes. Please, 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 people put down questions in the comments and answers in the comments. And then we do have a live chat every Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for the first Monday of the month we do on that Thursday. So 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I hope everybody is doing good. I encourage new gardeners and have a wonderful, wonderful time. Let me know how this works. Let me know experience, and we will see you next time. Please hit that like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We have all sorts of gardening stuff on here, and animal stuff, and homesteading stuff, all sorts of stuff. And have a wonderful time doing it. Let me know if you have questions, share it around, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching.